you want to have online multiplayer in this game.
That's right.
So, have you had an attempt at doing online multiplayer before, or would this be like, hey, let's try to work out how this goes. Let's go to YouTube and how do we do online multiplayer?
Honestly, a bit of both.
Mhm.
So at first, it did start off. All right, let's just make a online multiplayer game straight off the bat. It didn't work out too well. So what I ended up doing was I did some like demo projects, just like some prototypes of like some other games, just to get the understandings of how online multiplayer works and such.
Mhm.
Um, Now that I've done those, I've got a bit more experience with that, and now I can set up the game as need be.
Mhm.
But since all that time we've been developing this game, we thought we should probably release it sometime soon, so we're not stuck in development hell.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that way, we decided just to early access this year and then the full release next year. So we'll have a proper online multiplayer.
How long
Yeah,
has the game been in development for at this point?
about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see why you want to why you want to release at some point.
yeah, because that's part of the development process. If someone stays in development too long, the game does technically become outdated, and
Mm.
then you don't get the core idea you wanted with it. I suppose it
Mhm.
just becomes a blur of ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
So does Unity provide? I've not done like much with Unity. I've done like a couple of little things here and there, but does
Mhm.
Unity provide you tooling in the way of online multiplayer, or are you basic? I assume some people are doing stuff entirely custom as well, but like what really goes into that?
Yeah, so with the networking in Unity, Unity is pretty modular. So it's based on like game objects and components, and they just plug and play. So while you can use Unity's built-in system, they recently released it within the past year.
Mhm.
I think it's game services, which just covers everything like analytics, online multiplayer. Um, we personally don't use that for Crash Zone. We use a third party solution called Mirror.
Mhm.
So there's a couple of those out there. Some do peer to peer, some do peer to server, and etc.
Mhm.
Um, but we picked that one because we thought that would best suit our project's needs and the game we would like it to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you can do custom builds and like go, I want to say low end
Mhm.
instead of high end. But nah, Mirror allows it to be easily done in high end for us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The number one open source Unity networking library is what they say on their GitHub.
For Mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty good. So
And I guess because it is something that does exist, like already, there's content out there. That's the other thing. Going to YouTube, there's content out there on how to use it. So
exactly.
even if it might not 100% apply to what you're doing with your game, you can adapt that and go like test it out with other demos and try to make something that actually fits together.
Yeah, that's right. And additionally, with it being a third party solution, they're always constantly updating it too.
Mhm.
So if there is a bug, I don't have to worry about programming it. It's
Mhm.
already done by someone else.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
It definitely helps when it comes to development time.
Hmm.
Less time you can spend making programming on your game, the better, I reckon.
Mm.
Well, that's not for everything though. Like, there's
Sure.
definitely things you have to do custom, but for solutions such as networking, it's definitely helpful.
Right, right. Unless you have a networking background, whatever you
Hmm.
put together probably wouldn't be better than anything that already exists.
Yeah, that's true. Considering my level of experience with that too.
Networking is not something I've personally ever had much excitement to mess around with. I will deal with
Yeah.
the higher level stuff and the lower level stuff, but I don't want to touch the networking part.
It's not that scary once you have a proper look into it. Like,
Mhm.
it does have its hiccups here and there, but
Mhm.
Once you figure out how it works, it's pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
But I
Okay.
guess that could be said about anything, really.
Right, right. Yeah, if you have experience with it and you know how it works, it's easier
Yeah.
to deal with it.
I'll just say it's magic.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I think you should be more afraid of people who say they don't have any concerns with with developing something. Like someone who is overconfident, I'm more worried about than someone um who admits they just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. It's like that one experience curve, I think. It's like you
Mm.
start off saying, "Oh, I don't know anything." You get into it and say, "Oh, I know everything."
Mhm.
And then it's once you get past that point, you realize you don't know anything,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then you slowly go back up. I
Hmm.
forgot what that curve's called, but
Um, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
I am blanking on it. I'm probably gonna remember as soon as we finish recording, but it everyone listening knows exactly what we're talking about as well, and
Oh,
someone's probably gonna leave a
surely.
comment.
Yeah, the person listening to this, oh yeah, I definitely know that. I know everything.
Yeah, you know what? Good point. Oh, so
Those who know
mm,
know.
no.